Welcome to the Transform Your Wedding podcast, a how-to guide for taking your wedding to a whole new level. Here's your host, Marie Kubin from Rent My Wedding.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this week's episode of the podcast. Today, I'm talking about the new trend of home weddings. This is a trend that started in the pandemic, but it's here to stay because there's a lot of great reasons to have a home wedding. So I'll share a little bit more about this trend and how you can get the look for your wedding. So first things first, what is this home wedding trend all about? Now, of course, during the pandemic, a lot of couples were having their wedding at home and using Zoom to get their guests to attend because there was just no other option. So we saw some living room weddings and even garage weddings and backyard weddings. Now, it might seem like that's only for the pandemic, but the interesting thing is that it's actually a really amazing way just to save money on your wedding. And the best part is that you can actually make your home wedding look and feel every bit as special as a traditional wedding venue. So even outside of the pandemic, I definitely think that home weddings are here to stay, whether you just want to have a more intimate reception or you're looking to save a ton of money on your wedding. Now, the interesting thing is that when it comes to wedding budgets, the venue and catering is actually the biggest part of your entire budget. So if you can cut out those costs, you are going to save so much money. Not only are you eliminating the cost of the venue, but you also can save a lot on food and beverage. So typically with a venue, you're also using their catering and their bar service, and the drinks are marked up. So it gets really expensive really fast. Now, if you're hosting at home, you can shop around for your catering. You can do buffet style. There's a lot of options. And when it comes to the drinks, you can go to Costco and buy some bulk bottles of wine and set those on the table instead of paying for marked up drinks and bartenders to serve everyone. So there's a lot of reasons why hosting your wedding at home is going to help you save a ton of money on your wedding. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, like, who wants to have a wedding at home? That's ridiculous. If you don't have to, why would you? It's going to look terrible. Well, the funny thing is that I have personally decorated a garage for a wedding, and I know I sound crazy, but it actually looked amazing. Go on our website. You can see the photos and the videos yourself. Search for home weddings over at rentmywedding.com, and you'll see the makeover that we did. So the key is that it's all about the right decorations. So you wouldn't believe it, but having the right decorations can literally transform any space into a beautiful wedding venue. So, there's something to keep in mind when it comes to, let's say, a banquet hall. At the end of the day, a banquet hall is kind of just a plain old room. It only looks like a wedding hall because they added certain decorations. But if you take away those decorations, you're left with plain walls and some carpeting. So it's really not much different than spaces that you have available at your own home. So let's first focus on inside weddings, whether you're doing this in your home, in your garage, maybe even in your basement. Here's how you can transform that space and make it look amazing. So the first thing that you need is pipe and drape. So pipe and drape is something that's going to cover the walls completely. It's going to look like they're covered in a beautiful, elegant draping. And these can be white drapes, they can be different colors. There's a lot of possibilities. And if you want to know more about pipe and drape, check out our podcast. We have a whole episode dedicated to pipe and drape where you can learn more about how that works. But essentially, you're putting up a portable frame up against the walls and then hanging the drapes. Now, this is especially great because it's going to give you a blank slate. No matter where you are in your house, you're not going to be able to tell what room you're in. So that garage that I made over, when we first got there, it was a nightmare because the walls had tools hanging on them. There was a canoe hanging from the ceiling. It was insane. And we looked around like, how are we ever going to convince people that this is a wedding? But the second we put up all the pipe and drape, instantly all of that disappeared. You didn't even know that there were tools or anything else hanging on the wall. All you see are these gorgeous draped walls. So that's the number one thing that you need to do if you're doing a home wedding indoors. Put up some pipe and drape on all of the walls, and it's going to look just like a banquet hall. Now, the next thing that's really important is to add ambiance. So lighting is the number one way to create that wedding ambiance. Uplighting is a really effective way. It's affordable, it's DIY-able, and it's going to really set the mood for the wedding. So uplights are these small lights that light up the walls from floor to ceiling in any color. So you can do a really romantic amber color on the walls to set the mood. You could tie in one of your wedding colors. It's really whatever you want to do. It's customizable. And whether you're doing the draping like we talked about, or you just have blank plain walls, you can use the uplights, and it's really going to add those pops of color and enhance the space. So uplighting is the second secret that you need to use when it comes to home wedding decor. Now, the third type of decor that you need to use for a home wedding is a gobo or monogram lighting. So this is going to put your names in lights. This one's kind of extra, but honestly, I think it just really personalizes the venue and adds that perfect finishing touch. So if you're in a garage, let's say, you can actually shine that on the wall. It's going to add some really nice decoration to the wall that way. Or you could also use it to create a dance floor area. So what you would do is in that space, you want to set up your tables and chairs, but leave enough area open that you can do your first dance. And then you'll shine that monogram light down onto that spot on the floor. And so even if you don't have a real dance floor, having that monogram light there is going to really make it look like it's a dance floor and make that first dance so much more special. So gobos or monogram lighting are definitely another great way to get that home wedding to look and feel just as special as a traditional wedding venue. So those are three things that you definitely should use when it comes to hosting indoors. Now, another great way to pull off a home wedding is using the backyard. So of course, in that case, you've got the beauty of nature. And that creates a wonderful ambiance all on its own. And you can enhance that with some small decorations that are going to give it that wedding look and feel. So the first thing I love to do for an outdoor home wedding would be string lights. So of course, we're all familiar with string lights. This is just going to really add that romantic touch. And it's also going to kind of frame the area for the reception. So if you've got a big backyard, put the string lights over the main dining area and over the dance floor area where your guests are going to be. So the second type of decor that's really great for backyard weddings is uplighting. So same thing we talked about before, but now instead of using it on walls, you can actually use it on trees or fences, and it's going to add a really awesome ambiance. And if it's a fence, it's going to just add to the decor. It's going to take away the look of a fence in a backyard and makes it look like you're in a fabulous venue. So the third option is to also incorporate monogram lighting for your backyard wedding. And again, this is something you can do on the side of your house, or you can create that dance floor area outside. I love it if you've got a patio. You can keep that area clear, shine the monogram light on the patio, and then that becomes the spot for your first dance. So those are some ways that you can use different types of decor to completely make over any area of your home into a beautiful wedding venue. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning all of these tips about how you can save money by hosting at home, and that you don't have to settle for anything less by doing so, because you can make your home look and feel every bit as beautiful as a traditional wedding venue. Now, if you want to learn more about some of these types of decor that we just talked about, head over to rentmywedding.com. You can actually rent all of these different types of decor right on our website. We deliver everything right to your door, and shipping is free both ways nationwide. Now, the great part is everything is super affordable and it's easy to do it yourself. So in a matter of minutes, you can set up all these different things that we just talked about. So it takes just a minute to set up each uplight. For the monogram light, all you have to do is plug it in. So it doesn't get any easier than that to have a beautiful wedding and save money. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. And don't forget, you can catch all of our episodes over at transformyourwedding.com. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.
This podcast is brought to you by Rent My Wedding, your one-stop shop for event rentals. Order online and rentals are delivered right to your door. Shipping is free both ways nationwide. Rent lighting, backdrops, photo booths, and more. With the most 5-star reviews in the industry, Rent My Wedding makes rentals easy and affordable. Book your rentals today at www.rentmywedding.com.